Shine Brightly series of free online workshops was launched in November 2020, responding to the need for capability and capacity building in community organisations that was identified by the COVID-19 Community Impact Survey, which you can find on the CSI website. The introductory program covered grant writing, marketing and communications, innovation, strategy and wellbeing. And you can access all of those sessions and PowerPoints from those sessions on the CSI website. These workshops were well attended, and we are really delighted to announce a further 8 free sessions will be offered in 2021. Today's workshop, Wellbeing, the Whare Hauora, is the first in the 2021 series. And we have a second workshop next week on digital technology, Think and Act Digital, presented by John Lahr, and you can register through the CSI website. We're aiming to make all these sessions as accessible as possible. And as this workshop was oversubscribed, we will be recording and making them available through the CSI website. But we won't be recording the breakout sessions. At the end of this session today, we will be asking for your feedback via a survey link in the chat. This is really important as it helps inform some future program delivery. And actually the feedback from our last series has helped inform the 2021 offering. Before I introduce our session, I'd just like to ask you all to take part in a poll. It's a really short poll, and it's just will ask you if you've received funding from Foundation North in the last 2 years. Foundation North is supporting the series, and they're really interested to see how many of their grantees are accessing these workshops. So it will come up. Here we go. It's a quick answer. It's fascinating watching the numbers. Here we go. There we go. Thank you for doing that. And now I'd like to introduce Tuihana O'Hare. Tuihana is associate with CSI, who's a wealth of experience within the wellbeing space. Her expertise spans across all aspects of wellbeing. Recognised as one of Aotearoa's leading wellbeing consultants, she's won several awards for her work, notably with the launch of Manaaki peer-to-peer support initiatives in Vodafone and Te Wānanga o Te Aotearoa's wellbeing program, Tā Ora. Her passion for nurturing emerging wellbeing leaders and embedding wellbeing within communities and corporate spaces led Tuihana to create Rana, the Wellbeing Collective, a space for those working with or have an interest in the wellbeing space to meet, exchange knowledge, creativity and innovation. She's also the founder of Wu Table Korero, a community-based initiative that brings people together to hear from their community superstars. So I'm going to hand over to Tuihana, but really welcome, and we hope you enjoy the session today.
Oh my, I clicked on the wrong button. E mihi ana ki a tātou, tātou ko a whakakotahi mai ki te kaupapa o te rānei, te kia whiti tonu, e mihi ana tātou. Ko Tuihana O'Hare tōku ingoa no Kirikiri Roahau, no Tauranga Moana, Tauranga Tangata, ko Ngāti Rangi, me Ngāti Pukenga, rātou ko Te Arawa Uku Iwi. Kia ora, my name is Tuihana O'Hare. I grew up in a beautiful place called Weaver, which is just out of Dannevirke on my grandparents' farm. I'm European on my mother's side. And on my father's side, I also grew up and spent a lot of time in Mount Maunganui, where my whānau are from Tauranga, from Mount Maunganui. I also spent over 20 years in Melbourne, Australia. So every now and then you're going to hear probably a bit of a twang of twang. I'm a blended mother of 4 children. Thank you, Chloe, for that amazing introduction, by the way. Blended mother of 4 children, 4 boys, 6, 16, 17 going on 18, and 28. So yes, 4 boys in our household. It's very male dominated. As Chloe said, I have a massive passion for the space for wellbeing, for the wellbeing of people, despite your backgrounds, your colour, your creed. And yes, I've won a few awards, and but you only win awards with those that you surround yourself with. So I've worked in some great teams and some great companies and had the privilege of standing up on stage a number of times. And yes, I do like the stage, you know, if I'm being honest. But I'm very happy to be with CSI as an associate and be here today to deliver the first of the 2021 Kia Whiti Tonu series. So we are going to be speaking on Te Whare o Hauora, or your house of wellbeing, and I'm looking forward to bringing that to you. And please, there'll be a lot of interaction along the way, and I'll explain that as we go. Just really important that everyone feels safe. There will be moments when you'll feel a little vulnerable. If at any time you just feel a little unsafe, or well, we hope you don't, but you have just little moments where you need to take a break, please turn off your microphone, turn off your video, and take that time. And my recommendation to you would just be to focus on your breath at that point. It is the one thing that we can go to that actually calms us quite quickly. And so a count of breath of 4 would be to breathe in for 4, pause at the top, breathe it out for 4, and then pause again at the bottom. If you do that around about 4 to 5 times, you'll find that it really does calm you down. And also when we go into breakout rooms, we're going to have lots of interaction today. We ask that you give everyone a turn, and everyone has allocated time of 1 minute 30 seconds, so 90 seconds in total, okay? And there will be some sharing, so I will ask you to share, but only voluntarily. I'll try not to call you out, okay? Awesome. So now we'll get straight into it. Once again, no mahara mai, welcome. Next slide, please. Kia ora. As I said, no mahara mai. Welcome to Te Whare o Hauora, your house of wellbeing. One question we do have is actually what brought you here today? So what was it that brought you here? What was it that made you read the description of this workshop? Or perhaps you know me and you thought, yes, I really would love to go to this workshop, and these are the reasons why. So if you could share that with us in the chat, that would be lovely, because we'd love to hear from you. This is also an opportunity to have some whakawhanaungatanga. So please, if you could tell us where you work for, what your role is, and as I said, what brought you here today, that'd be lovely. And then we can, so I'm waiting for you all to please enter that in the chat. Oh, morena, Stevie. Stevie, what brought you here today? Morena Debbie. Kia ora from Constance. Kia ora, Jane. Awesome. Got Sarah, I've got Sandra. Awesome. Stephen, Fahima. Awesome. I'm going to read a few out. They're going very quickly, but I'm going to read a few out. I hope that we've got Kathy Fletcher, who works for Well Women, supporting women in prenatal period care. Let me see, I'll read these out. Kia ora koutou from Lawrence Kirby, Chair of Kapiti Impact Trust. Here because wellbeing is an important part of what I'm passionate about. That's great. That's great. We've got Deb Humphreys here, supporting member agencies to focus on workforce wellbeing in 2021. The need is so significant in response to COVID-19. That's absolutely so pono, so true, Deb. Deb is from North Shore Family Violence Prevention Network. Who else have we got here? Atamari, everyone. My name is Emma and I'm on board of a community development board. This workshop is relevant to what we're doing in the community. Great. Great. Fahima Saeed, I hope that I've said your name correctly. I work with refugees, background families, and have a passion for health and wellbeing of our new arrivals. Oh, ngā mihi. We've got Dan, who's the new GM in the Neighbourhood Trust in Christchurch. Nau mai haere mai, welcome, Dan. Morena Izzy. Morena Izzy works for Women's Health Action, a women's health advocacy NGO based in Auckland. I'm here to learn more about the Te Whare Tapawhā model, which we do our work on. Great. This is great. Personally wanting to learn about wellbeing from a Te Ao Māori perspective and deconstruct some of my own Pākehā perspectives. Thank you for your honesty there. Oh, we've got Keire Hana. She's loving to learn and discovering her whakapapa, her roots. We've all been on that journey. Kay, sorry. Carol from Kapiti Impact Hub. We've got a few from Kapiti here. Tai Whaalongo from Stroke Foundation, working on the Pacific stroke prevention space and interested in wellbeing and healthy communities. Wow, what a diverse group. How exciting. Awesome, awesome. So everyone's here for different reasons, and I love that a lot of people are here for both workplaces, but also personally. I think that what we're about to discuss will help us in many aspects of our life. And I think that the past year has been incredibly challenging. So if I can ask to shift to, please, the next slide, that'd be lovely. Thank you. Before we go anywhere further, I just want to acknowledge Amy and Aggie, who are working in the background and who have been instrumental in bringing this together. So just mihi to you both, Abby and Aggie, for bringing this together. For Chloe, who's kept me on the straight and narrow, because I can go a little bit off track sometimes. So this will be a little organic today. We'll try to stick to the kaupapa. We will stick to the kaupapa, but I may ask a few little things every now and then. So our whare of hauora, te whare o hauora, is about reminding ourselves about what we have within our kite. So what do we already have? What are the pūmanawa? What are our God-given talents? What are our pukinga, our skills that we can draw on? And I think that this is a time of reflection, actually. When we think about the last 12 months, for those of us that live out of Tāmaki Makaurau, it's been a year actually today since we went into lockdown, and we've only had one lockdown. For some of us though that live in Tāmaki Makaurau, you've had 4, and it's been interesting being in Tāmaki Makaurau in the last 24 hours and just observing the wairua or the vibe of the city and where everyone's sitting. But it's been a challenging time for many of us. Many of us have had to reflect on not only ourselves, but also our workplaces and also our families. And we've had to have some really honest conversations with ourselves around things that we thought we might have been okay with. This is actually me sitting on top of Mowal, which is our maunga back home in Tauranga, and just reflecting, looking out at the moana, sitting in amongst the ngahere, in amongst the nature. And often when you go to the top of that maunga of Mowal, you'll either see pi waka waka, so fantails, or you'll see tui, and they kind of keep you company, and they keep you company as you go up, and they keep you company as you go down. And we believe that that's a tohu from our tūpuna. Our tūpuna telling us these are some signs that we're keeping you company and we're going to look after you. Some of the honest conversations that I've had to have with myself is that up until recently, I thought I was quite comfortable with working from home. And then I realized actually it was not a great place for me. I'm a people's person. I need to be around people. At the same token, I've actually discovered that I kind of like the quiet, and I'm by nature are bubbly people who surrounds herself with people and loves a lot of noise. So to go to that space and go to that place. But I suppose one of the questions I want to ask you is, what are some of the conversations that you've had with yourself? Yes, it was pūmanawa. Pūmanawa are your God-given or talents, or your tūpuna-given talents that you have. And we all have them. We all have them, Sarah. I'm listening, I'm watching Sarah's chat. Aroho mai whānau. If you've got any questions, please put them up there and I will answer them as best as I can. Sandra's just asked me a question. I'm German. What was the red word for the God-giving gifts, please? Pūmanawa. Pūmanawa. I will put that up on, later on following this workshop. And I'll also put up pukinga, which are your skills. So just some of the things to ask yourself as we go through is actually, what are some of the honest conversations that you've had with yourself over the past 12 months or that you're currently having with yourself? Okay, cool. And we're just going to discuss that further as we go through. And please don't be shy and allow yourself to be a little vulnerable. You do not have to share that with anybody. You can actually just write that down yourself. Now, before we go any further, I actually sent out or Amy did, or Aggie did, would have sent you out a template, Te Whare Tapawha, and it had on there taha tinana, taha wairua, taha hini naro, and taha whānau. Now, if you didn't print them out, all I'd like you to do, please, is get 3 pieces of paper and fold it into 4. Fold it into 4? Yes, please, fold it into 4. So 3 pieces of paper. They can be A5, they can be A4. Have them in front of you, and I'd like you to name one mahi or work or workplace. I'd like you to name the other whānau or family, and I'd like you to name the other self or kuau. Okay? And then on those pieces of paper, I'll take you through what we're about to do next. So, ka pai? Awesome. If we could go to that. Can you please? Thank you. So on your pieces of paper, you've got 3 there. Just focus on one, just choose one that you'd like to focus on today. And I'd like you to write in one section, so if you've divided it into 4, in one of those boxes, put taha tinana. So taha tinana is your body, okay? It is our tinana is our house, okay? So your body. This is the thing that houses all the things that allow us to live, that allow us to breathe, that allow us to feel, that allow us to think. It's really important that we understand how we care or how we look after our tinana. And it's really important that we use our tinana. So I know a few people kind of like, well, I don't do the gym thing, right? So, you know, you may walk, you may meditate, you may skip, you may knit, you may paint. But what is it that you do for your tinana? What is it? And the reason I talk about keeping your tinana active is because in order to keep your tinana active, it actually allows you to have chemical reactions in your body, such as endorphins, which help you to feel good. So your tinana is really like, I would like to consider it like your temple. It is your temple. How do you look after your temple? How do you look after this house of your body? So my question is, and we're going to send you into breakout rooms, is what do you do for your tinana? It's really important that we all do something for our tinana. And I can explain it further as we go through. But I want you to really ask yourself what it is that you do for your tinana. We're going to send you into breakout rooms. You're going to have a kōrero, you're going to have a conversation with those in your breakout room, and you're going to share what you do for your tinana. You're also going to write it into the piece of paper that we've just talked about. Is that cool? Is everyone good with that? Yes? Okay. Okay, so now we're going to send you into breakout rooms. Kia ora. No, mahara, welcome everybody back. I hope you all enjoyed that kōrero. I am going to ask a few people to share. So in our group, we had a lovely mix of people, but Dwiti has offered to share what she does for her tinana. So we're going to ask Dwiti to share with the whole rope, with the whole group. Over to you, please. Take yourself off mute. There you go. There you are. Kōrero mai.
Hi, I work at Shanti Nivas Charitable Trust. We organize programs for senior citizens of South Asian community. And working with the seniors, it's not very easy. Sometimes we have to face elder abuse and lots of other issues those migrant seniors they are facing here. Sometimes it is too much to take. So for my tinana, I have got a dog with whom I play 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour in the morning. And whenever I reach home, I play with him. I love walking as well. So he's the one who is helping me to keep going and working for our elderlies and provide services in a manner which we can. So if we can't look after ourselves, we won't be able to look after others. So I'm trying to look after myself, and it's really, really great to be part of this workshop today. Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
And then we've got Sandra Otto from Future of Work. Could Sandra, would you like to share? I know you've shared it with everybody in the chat, but if you could, please.
Yeah, I'm happy to share from the sunshine in Waiheke. So I'm sending you sun as well, everybody who doesn't have so much sun right now. Yeah, we were thinking about, after we shared all the great things we're already doing, is when we're pregnant, we look after ourselves and our tinana probably best because we feel we're looking after another. And why don't we do this all the time? Why don't we, men and women, live and take care of our tinana as if we were pregnant? That's my inspiration.
Thank you so much, Sandra, for sharing. That's a very good point. And could we have one other share, please? Anybody like to come forward?
I'll share.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Laura. How are you?
I'm Laura, but this is my colleague Julia. She will share with you. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, I'm from Pregnancy Help. We're from Pregnancy Help, and we're an organisation that helps the vulnerable woman, the pregnant woman, and we help them going through their pregnancy. And all our services are free. And we cover the whole of the Auckland region. And yes, we're here at a drop of a phone call away or email away, and they can ask anything about pregnancy. And we're a good referral service, so we can help them with the bassinets, maternity clothes, and baby clothes, and that. And we're a listening ear.
And what do you do for your tinana? What do you do for your body to look after it?
For myself,
Yes, for you, for yourself.
I go for walks and that, and yeah, eat healthily, and that's about me. And Laura's about the same. Do you?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I prefer to do some walking, and then just anything de-stress, cooking, you know, things like that. Yeah, I don't have a lot of time, but I try to do what I can.
Thank you for sharing. I think Joyiti made a very relevant point, and that is for all of us to be able to look after others, to be able to care for others, we must look after ourselves. It does begin with you. I know in many of your workplaces, you're constantly giving, your services are invaluable to many, but please take some time to look after yourself. Thank you. So now we're going to move on to our next slide. Taha wairua. So taha wairua is like your spiritual essence. What is it? For some of us, it would be going to church. For some of us, it would be karakia. It looks and feels like different things to different people. And often it's intangible. So it's not something you can be seen. It's not something we can often put our hands on. It's kind of a feeling. So what is the space or the place for you with regards to where you go and recharge your taha wairua, your spiritual side of your whare of haura? So where do you go? What's your space and or your place? And what does it feel like and look like to you? So to give you an example, taha wairua, when I feel like I need to, I'm a little bit flat, I often get a calling, and I believe that that's part of my taha wairua, to go return back to Mount Maunganui, to go for a swim, no matter how cold it may be, and to actually walk up my maunga and take that time. And that's the space and the place for me. However, as I said, it's different things for different people. So now we're going to ask you to go into a breakout room and actually discuss with your breakout room, where do you go? What space or place is it for you to recharge your wairua, your spiritual side of who you are? And what does it feel like and look like? So now we're going to send you off into breakout rooms and ask you to discuss that. Kia ora. Got to remember to take myself off mute. And we're back again, and it's lovely to have you all back. One of the things we spoke about within our little ropu, within our little group, within our breakout room, was the fact that Te Whare Tapawha has, predominantly we're talking about 4 walls of your house. Sometimes one of those walls gets a little bit challenged, let's say. And I think that we're in a time when it's okay to put our hand up and say, I'm having some challenging times with this particular part of my life, whether it's taha wairua or taha tinana. The other thing we spoke about is how that it's intrinsic. So people in our group spoke around how not only did, taha tinana, taha wairua were actually quite linked for them. So I'm going to ask a few people to share. I'm going to ask Lawrence, who is part of our group, to please share. Kia ora, Lawrence.
Kia ora. Thank you for the opportunity. Around wairua, it's I think it interrelates across all of the others. And for me personally, playing football is really a huge part of rebuilding and refreshing myself. And also my attendance at church and part of a spiritual faith community is a significant part of my way of acknowledging my wairua. I think for me as a Pākehā, my culture is very much definitely less aware sometimes of our wairua and the importance of looking after it and taking time to refresh it and creating green space. And so it's something I've had to learn, I guess, in my world, is to take space to refresh that bit that really is just a feeling. It's really hard to nail down what it actually is, but it's an important part of our house. Yeah. So thank you. Kia ora.
Totally agree. And I'd like to think of te kete, you know, te whare o Hauora, your house of well-being is more of your home. Because when we think of the word home, it gives us a sense of feeling. And I'm just going to ask, because I can see someone popping up who I kind of know, Stephen W. Kia ora. If you can take yourself off your mic, and if you can, and the lovely gentleman you're sitting with, you both might like to share what you do for Taha Wairua.
Well, I guess I started off with a whakatauki or a proverb, and it goes like this. Hoki a koe ki ngā maunga o tīpuna, kia pūrea e koe e ngā hau e tāwhirimatea, which means return back to your mountain so that you'll be cleansed by tāwhirimatea. So that's the space that I tend to go back. In this particular case, I talked about te urewera. And I say, you talk about intrinsic, so we say, ko te urewera a hau, ko a hau te urewera. So it means te urewera is me, and I am te urewera. So when you talk about intrinsic, so I go back to those sorts of things, and I, you know, it's like my kit is filled when I go back there. It sustains me, and it's through things like hearing the birds, the insects, the water, the sound of water, the trees. You know, that's we actually got another name for it. It's called mate mate aone. So mate mate aone is that. So you don't necessarily have to have someone next to you. That environment sort of serves you. It's, you know, it's the environment that fulfills you. But you can have people next to you, and it might be just their presence there is enough to fulfill your kete.
Kia ora, thank you for sharing. One of the things I spoke about in my group is that, you know, being an Indigenous person from Aotearoa, is that there's a level that there's a connection to both Papatū Anuku and Rangi Nui, so Mother Earth and Sky Father. And so thank you for sharing, Matawa, because it reminds many of us, and actually Lawrence spoke to this, and Carol spoke to this in our ropu, was around the bird song. They called it the bird song, hearing the manu sing, you know, listening to the waves at the moana, so at the beach, you know, all those things, Indigenous or non-Indigenous, people of culture or, you know, other, all those things remind us of all the beautiful things that we're surrounded with, and actually help to fill our te whare tapawha, all our whare of Hauora, our house of well-being. So now we're going to talk to Taha Hininaro. So if I could ask Amy. Taha Hininaro, basically it's your mental well-being. It's the best translation that I'm able to provide. It's actually made up of two words, but Hininaro is your mental well-being. Your Hininaro is incredibly powerful. I mean, you think about how many times you've had conversations with yourself around yes or no, or somebody said something to you and you take it on board, and you, especially wahine, especially women, we analyze things and we try to work it out, and did they mean this or did they mean that, you know? And I think that this year, and I've spoken about this several times, is that it has been a challenging year, and there have been challenging times. And we know that mental health and wellbeing has been particularly affected, or is having some impact. The last year of challenges is having some impact on many people's mental health and wellbeing. There has to come kind of some acceptance that there has been change, We're never going to revert back to that time 12 months ago. We have to accept that there is change, and that we ourselves have undergone some form of change. And our Hininaro, sometimes we just have to be kind to ourselves, to be okay and accept these changes that we've gone through. Something that I did on the weekend, which I haven't done for many, many years, which was actually for my Hininaro, for my wairua, for my tinana, so for my body, my mind and my soul, was I read a book, and I read a book in 24 hours. I couldn't believe it, but that's what I did. So my question to you is, what have you done, or what do you do for your mental health and well-being? How do you take time? So is it that you take time to reflect? Is it that you do gratitude journaling? Is it that you do karakia? Is it that you read a book? So I'm going to ask you to all go into breakout rooms and to ask and to share those questions and share those responses with each other. Kia ora. Kia ora koutou. I just want to apologise to Dory, who was in the middle of telling us. So Dory, I apologise to you. I don't have any control over the when we go back in, but thank you for the little bit that you did share. One thing I just want to say is that this is obviously a sensitive area for many people. It's actually, when I say sensitive, I think it's an area that many of us actually want to have a larger conversation about. Kahahini naro, our mental health and well-being. And the reason I say that is because in our lovely group, I could feel that when I was talking when you were each talking, like, could we please just kind of talk for another like 5 or 10 minutes on this particular one? And nearly everybody, in fact, everybody within our roku, within our group, had a challenge. And I just want to remind everyone that one thing that comes with Te Whare Tapawhā, one thing that comes with your home of well-being, with your hauora, is the connection to people and connection to things, you know. And I think that mental health and well-being, this is actually almost a workshop that we could do separately to this, because I think that this is an area that everybody wants to talk to. Now, I'm gonna, one thing to always remember is that it does start with self. And if it's all right, I am going to ask one person to share, because I keep getting reminders that we're a little bit behind time, but that's okay. As I'm going to ask the lovely, and I hope she doesn't mind, Corinne, to just quickly share what she shared with us. And I knew she knew I was going to ask her. So over to you, please, Fire, and thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
Kia ora koutou. Thank you for this opportunity. Hey, look, I really reflected on last year being quite challenging personally outside COVID, which was quite nice. But one thing I did was acknowledge that I was in a space of challenge. And the second thing I did was actually engage in professional services and unapologetically, because I know that in saying that, it's been a 6-year journey to get to a point of looking after myself. But for me to be empowered to enable people in my community to actually live their lives fulfilled, I needed to be okay. And acknowledgement was one thing. And then sometimes being brave enough to actually walk away from things that aren't healthy for you, and being, again, unapologetic for knowing what you need, as opposed to by default, giving in these different spaces. So yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell what I need to
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sorry, now we're going to move to taha whānau. Thank you so much, Corin, for sharing. I really appreciate it. I think a lot of us could resonate with that pūrākau, with that story. So this is part of my crazy whānau, taha whānau. My whānau mean the world to me. This is just, when I say a small group, there's about 150 of us on my ohia side of the family. And that's just immediate family. So it's a bit crazy, but this is some of us walking up one of our maunga back home in Tauranga. For me, part of being this whānau is about belonging. I have great care and love for them all. I'm one of the oldest mokopuna, so there comes with that extra responsibility, mokopuna being grandchildren. I love to share my life with them. It's really important that I have connection with my whānau. I grew up in Australia, and we were quite disconnected, and so it's been lovely to come home and be on that journey with my whānau. My whānau also give me an incredible sense of belonging. I am nothing without my whānau. That's what I believe intrinsically for me. But you know, whānau looks like different things for different people. Because whānau doesn't always mean blood relations. It can also mean a group of friends, or in some of cases, you have your own tribe that you mix and mingle with, and who are your whānau. So my question to all of you, when you go into your breakout room, is who is your whānau and what connects you to them? So now we're going to move into a breakout room. We're probably going to shorten the time a little bit in the breakout room. So if you could please be mindful around sharing and just keep it short and quick, that would be lovely. And I apologize for having to ask that, but we just need to move through. Thank you. We're going to go out into breakout rooms now. Kia ora. No, mahara mai, welcome back. Yeah, no, I'm a pretty bubbly, positive person, but I've just come out of talking with two others, and we all had, oh no, one of us didn't, but two of us ended up having tissues and having a little bit of a tangi. We had a little bit of a cry. So for us, taha whānau, and excuse me because I feel like I have to take a drink of water now. My mother and father, my immediate family, are all in Melbourne. I haven't seen them for a year. One of the other ladies in our room, her family's in Singapore. She hasn't seen her family. And another one of the ladies in our group, her grandmother is 85 and is in Wales. And she's not able to fly back to see her grandmother, and been in numerous lockdowns in Wales. And everyone around her has received the vaccine except for this lady's grandmother. So family at the moment looks like different things to each of us. For one of us, it's about the family that she has in Pōneke in Wellington. For another, it's about her partner and whom she lives with in Whangaroa and Raglan. And for me, I suppose it's just leaning on my first cousins an awful lot, and my partner and my children who are here. But I just want to mihi to you all, to all of us who have, and all of us will have family or whānau that are overseas. And I think that, yes, and if you get an opportunity, please go and see the movie Cousins. Some great actresses, and I think it'll resonate with many of us. But to you all with family in Mexico, in Singapore, in Wales, in Australia, in other places. Afghanistan. I just want to mihi to you all. And I'm not going to get anybody to come on at the moment because I think I'm still wiping away a few tears. For those that are from the Czech Republic, there's many of us with people overseas. So just much love to everybody. And at least we have technology to still keep us connected. But I cannot wait and to go through the airport and cuddle my family. So, anyway, let's move to the next slide, please. Thank you. It's not like the facilitator, the host, to have emotional tears, but they're from a good place. And I think it gives permission for all of you to grab a tissue and have a bit of a cry if you need to. Okay, whenua. Whenua, this is a photograph from our papakainga back home in Tauranga Moana. You'll see my marae in the background, as well as Mauwau, our maunga. It also sits on the bottom of Kupu Kairua, another one of our maunga. You know, this is where I really get drawn back to. This is my space and my place. And you know, there is clear evidence to say that we're returning back to the environment actually improves our well-being. So how do you connect to the environment? What is your tūranga waiwai? Where is the place that you go to? Where is your belonging of home? I know for some of us that may seem in another country, but if we just reflect on what we have in Aotearoa, where is home for you in Aotearoa? Now, Amy, I'm going to ask that we can't go into breakout rooms, but I'm going to ask that we only have 2 minutes, please, everybody. So if you could just please verbalize quite quickly where it is where is your tūranga waiwai? Where is the place that you go to? Where is your home? Kia ora. Kia ora koutou. Well, that was actually a bit of fun. One lady in our group has travelled all over the world, and she thought that when she travelled the world that she would find some place other than Aotearoa that she wanted to live and settle in. But she soon learned that after traveling the world, that actually it was Aotearoa where she wanted to be. So I'm mihi to you, and it's a great little country. And another lady in our groups travel all over the world, and her places of home are Whangaroa, Raglan, Europe, and West Wales. She was very specific around the West Wales. So now we're just going to move on to the next slide. Thank you so much, everyone. As you can see, with regards to Te Whare Tapawha, with regards to your home of Hauora, you not only have taha tinana, taha wairoa, taha hinenaro, taha whānau, but you also have whenua, because a house sits on some kind of land at some point, right? So there's always a connection there. So if we can move to the next slide, please. Thank you, Amy. I'm really aware of time right now. So I just want you to know that we kind of talked about the different sheets. There's 3 different areas of life that will predominantly lead you. One is around mahi, your workplace. One is around whānau, and one is around self. Sometimes they're interconnected, but I ask you at some point following the workshop to look at those 3 pieces of paper, to look at those various sections of Te Whare Tapawha and fill out those boxes and ask, what is it? How does it look for you with regards to mahi? How does it look for you for whānau? How does it look for you for self? For me personally, my Te Whare Tapawha is the same thing for all 3 spaces, but it's different things for different people. And I just put my hand up like that. I took this photograph because I felt like that it empowered you, it empowers all of us. So please, and you can take those sheets, you can share them with your workplaces, you can do them with your whānau, or you could just take time for yourself. So we wanted to provide you with really practical application, and also so that you can share it with others. So we implore you to share it with others. And if I can move to the next slide, please, Amy. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because when we're looking at our Te Whare Tapawha, what's actually going on a lot around the country, in particular in Tāmeki Makaurau, is that there is a lot of burnout that's happening. And whānau, we're not even all the way through March yet. So I want you to just remember to be kind, to be calm, to be safe, but more importantly, to visit those places that remind you of home. They don't necessarily have to be physical places. It can be meditation. Return to those places and spaces. Use all your senses, be visual, utilize your senses. Remind, like a scone with jam and cream, that reminds me of my Granny McKissick. Sometimes food is what actually gives us, can fill our taha wairua. Be kind to yourself. Remember that you have this amazing set of pūmanawa, of talents, and of pukinga, of skills, and also you have a lot within your whare of Hauora. Utilize it. Remember it. When those times come when you're feeling a little down, pick yourself up by returning to your whare of Hauora and reminding yourself. But remember to always be kind. Refer to your Te Whare Tapawha. What does it look like? You've got a sheet there. I encourage you to fill it out. I encourage you to put it somewhere visually where you can see it on a daily. Whether it's on your fridge at home, because, hey, we always go into our fridge, whether it's on your laptop, whether it's on your computer, whether you put it into your phone, just somewhere visually. And it's great to sit down with your whānau, it's great to sit down with your workmates, and it's great to sit down with yourself and do these kind of things. So I implore you, from my heart to yours, to please, remind yourself, return to these things. Before we move on to the next slide, I just want to say I'm in awe of all of you and all the work that you do for not just yourself, for your whānau, but also for the workplaces and the workspaces, for all the services that you provide the community, and for all the work that you do for others. I just am in awe of all the light that is currently coming through and shining from each of you. I see the light in you. Please see the light in you too. And I ask that you share this with your workplaces and with your workmates. And if I could go to the next slide, please. Are there any Pātai? Are there any Christians from any of you, please? I'm able to answer, what time are we at? I can answer 1 or 2. Any questions? Just unmute yourself and go for it. Come on, I know you have some Christians.
I have a question, where the Father was created. How and where was the Father created for us?
Te whare tapawha, I apologize. It's actually remiss of me. Thank you for the reminder, Sandra. I just would like to mihi to his amazing Professor Mason Jury. I'd just like to mihi to you matua. He may not be here physically, but he'd definitely be here he wairua. He's physically somewhere, probably running around the country, knowing him. But he developed Te Whare Tapawha to actually help those that live outside Te Ao Māori, that live outside the Māori world. He wanted people to understand, to have a kind of beginning, let's say, because it is a bit of a journey, about how we as Māori have these tools that are naturally part of who we are. So we don't often break things down into taha wairua, taha tinana, taha hininaro, taha whānau, whenua. For us, it's all one of the same. They are intrinsically linked. They're actually never separated. But we appreciate that sometimes one needs a little bit more aroha, a little bit more love than the other. So Professor Mason Jury created Te Whare Tapawha to help break down some of the barriers between Te Ao Māori and mainstream world, for want of a better description.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Okay. You sure? Because we're right back on time. Hey?
I have one, Tuihana.
Yes, Suzanne.
Okay, so my question is, and I think, lots of us have to, move around and be in different places. What's the tool that you use to bring your family to mind, or to center yourself in, a space, thinking of your whenua or your family, or is there any tool that you sort of use to actually bring yourself to that space when you're not actually able to physically go there?
Yes. So yesterday afternoon, I spoke at a conference, and this morning I'm here speaking to you all at this wonderful workshop. What I do is if I can for a moment, just grab my bag. I'm not sure if you can all see that, but my granny McCusick was very close to me, and I always carry something of hers with me. So I always have that. And I often will take a moment, like I did this morning and walking here, just to think of my tupuna, of my grandparents, of my family. This morning I went out, took off my shoes. Actually, I was walking around in my t-shirts and undies, if I'm being honest, and went and put my feet on Papa Tuanaku, just did a little karakia. I do a little karakia, a little tātai to the day that's beginning. And I just sit for a little while. And I also have a diary that I write a little bit of gratitude in. And I just think of all that I'm representing today, because I never represent myself. So I just sit in a space of quietness, and I reflect on those people that are supporting me, that are passed on, and those generations to come. And I often do what I call a breath of 4. I spoke at this at a conference yesterday, and I can share this with you. And I think I did share this with you, is to actually take in a breath for 4, hold it for 4, exhale it, so through the nose and out the mouth, and then hold it at the bottom for 4. And that's what I do too, is just really focus on my breath. So yeah, that's what I do often when I'm away, Suzanne. Thank you for asking that question. So my recommendation to you is to actually just take a moment to think about all those that you represent and all those that you love, and take a moment. Yes, composure. And I'm very composed today, people. Okay, I think we need to move on. We have got a CSI survey that we would like you to complete. That'll be sent to you by the fabulous Amy or Aggie. So if you could please feedback on that, that'd be great. Actually, it's in the chat. And if you could complete that, that'd be great. It's really important that we get feedback, constructive criticism, so that we can enhance what we deliver in the future. These are some of the resources that I'd advise you to go to. Mental Health Foundation in New Zealand has numerous amounts of helplines and support groups all through Aotearoa. I've also sent, or will be sending, some models around Te Whare Tapawha, so one for whānau, one for your workplace. Health Navigator is another wonderful site. Quotes, podcasts, YouTube. You can just type in wellbeing and it comes up with a plethora of resources. And if any of you feel like you need some one-on-one time with a counsellor, please text or call 1737. You will be greeted by a professional counsellor who can actually help you. And if not, they can recommend the next step. So please don't hesitate to call them. The survey will only take a few minutes, as they're saying, and we would really appreciate everybody doing it. So I think we'll give you a couple of minutes to do that survey before I close us off with karakia. So if you could just take the time to complete that, it should take you 1 or 2 minutes. That'd be really, really cool. And what I will do is I'll just play a snippet of a song and while you complete that. Is that okay with everybody? If you can give me a witty, that'd be really, really good. Awesome. This is just a reminder that we are all family, that we are all whānau. Can you hear it? Okay, before we start with karakia, can you all witty, please? You're wondering why witty actually provides us with vibration, and we're just sending everyone a whole lot of love. And just know that everywhere in every space we are loved and cared for. Kia ora. Now I'm going to close this off with karakia. Thank you for joining us today. I got all my sisters and brothers with me. So let's go. Karakia. If it's okay with everyone, I'm going to sing this. I sang this the last time. I'm going to sing it this time. Okay. If you can bring up the slide, please, Amy. And if you're going to sing it with me, stay on mute, whānau. Okay. But I can still see you all. Kia tātou katoa, te ata whai. O tō tātou ariki a ihu, karaiti. Me te aroha, o te atua nui. Me te whiwhinata I tanga ki te wairoa tapu. Ake, amine. Ake, amine. Go safe, be well. Many blessings to you all, and thank you so much. Ngā mihi nui koutou katoa. Mwah. Ka kite. Kia pai tō wiki, have a great week.